This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports postcasts we do. We also do the Locked On Warriors and Locked On 49ers postcast as well. But today, the Giants, their offensive freefall continued as they struggled mightily at the plate and fell to the Detroit Tigers 3-1 at Comerica Park. Webb was much better today than he was in his last outing, still got roughed up a little bit and did not have nearly enough run support. The Giants mustered just 6 hits today and 0 with runners in scoring position. This offense looks to be completely dead in the water, lifeless, and they need some big-time help right now. We'll break it all down, but first I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed, and make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Ben Kaspick, does a great job. And in this one, I mean, the Tigers got on the board first, a couple runs in the first 2 innings. Riley Green was just a killer today for the Tigers. I mean, 3 for 4 at the dish today, a couple of RBIs as well for Riley Green, a double that drove in a run as well. So, I mean, he was like a one-man wrecking crew out there for the Tigers. Also caught a bunch of fly balls in left field that ended up all dying on the warning track. Like, the Giants had a couple nice swings, like Wilmer Flores almost knocked one out. Matt Chapman sent one to the warning track as well, I believe. And it just wasn't enough. I mean, you can blame it on the wind. You can blame it on whatever you want. But at the end of the day, the Giants got to figure out a way how to score runs. I mean, they cannot continue to have this type of lackluster offensive production. You can't win games when you're scoring 1 or 2 runs a game. I mean, the Giants just absolutely horrendous over the last 10 games. They have the second fewest hits in all of baseball, only trailing the Texas Rangers. And I mean, extra base hits wise, they're one of the worst teams in that same 10-game bracket. They're tied for the fewest doubles in that time frame, and home run wise, they're 6th worst in all of baseball in the last 10 games. So the Giants just cannot figure out any way to score some damn runs. They're also 6th worst in RBIs in those last 10 games as well. So the Giants just sputtering offensively, and sputtering might be a nice word for how this team has been playing lately. Seems like every day it's someone else who's letting you down. And I mean, if it's not everybody, I mean, Jung-Hoo Lee today, 0 for 3. I mean, you can't, and I hate to put so much pressure on him because he's just one guy. But at this point, with the way the rest of this team is playing, Jung-Hoo Lee has to hit. He must be able to hit the baseball. And today, I mean, at 6 hits, not a lot of Giants were doing much hitting at all. 10 strikeouts, only 1 walk. They went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position and left 5 on base. This offense, terrible right now. I mean, you see looking strike, like guys watching strike 3. And I know Pat Bailey got rung up on one that was outside of the zone. So I'm not going to blame Pat Bailey, but Matt Chapman, first inning, watches strike 3 go by. What are we doing? Swing the damn bat. This team cannot continue to go up there and just it seems like they have no approach, like they have no plan going into the box. I'm sure they have some sort of a plan, but it's not like I'm not picking up on what it is by watching the game. And that's not a very good sign, because at least in past years when this team was slumping offensively, they would still be like looking for specific pitches. They would still look to be hunting pitches. It would be feast or famine with home runs or strikeouts, but at least they had a plan of attack. And right now, this team doesn't seem like it has any sort of plan of attack. I'm not going to blame all of this on the managerial staff and the coaching staff. But Pat Burrell and Bob Melvin need to get together. The brain trust needs to come together, and they need to figure out how the hell to score some runs. This team, one thing that's really interesting to me is this Giants team has been far less aggressive with things like stealing bases and like bunting to move people over, or even trying to lay down a bunt for a hit in certain situations. The Giants were doing a bunch of that kind of stuff earlier on in the season, and it worked for them. They had some good luck, you might want to call it, but ultimately they were putting the ball in play and putting the pressure on the other team and making them make a play. And the Giants are completely taking the pressure off of the other team right now by striking out 10 times and barely putting the damn ball in play. I mean, 10 strikeouts is entirely too many, and it just looks bad right now. Like, this team looks bad. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Like, this team, I don't know what happened, what changed. I mean, it seemed like everyone started to fall off the cliff at the same time. Mike Yastrzemski, Wilmer Flores to an extent, Jung-Hoo Lee to an extent, but mainly Matt Chapman and Willie Adames. Both of those guys have been slumping major bad in recent weeks, or majorly bad in recent weeks. Willie Adames, for what it's worth, did have a couple hits tonight, looked a little bit better at the dish, and Matt Chapman had a couple nice hard hit balls, but ultimately it didn't result in anything good for the Giants. They managed to scratch one run across there in that ninth inning, but it was obviously way too little too late, and this team has got to start scoring runs earlier on. And one interesting thing is that they're batting just .210 against four-seam fastballs right now, and that should be the pitch. If you're looking for a pitch to hit, that should be it, especially with Jake Flaherty on the mound. I mean, this guy has been not very good all season long with that fastball. When he has gotten roughed up, it has been against that fastball, and his ERA is it was over 4 coming into today, now sub 4 with his nice pitching performance. Flaherty, 6 shutout innings, struck out 8 Giants, and a lot of those strikeouts came by way of the fastball. I don't know how you are striking out against Jake Flaherty's fastball. It does not have a lot of movement. It does not have a super high velocity. What are you looking for? If it's not that pitch, what the hell are you doing up there in the box? The Giants just need to come up with a plan. Like, this offense looks like they need to take whatever the hell they've been doing over the last couple of weeks, throw it in the trash can, set it on fire, bury it out at sea, like, get rid of every single thing that you've been doing in these last couple of weeks and try something different, because it's very clear that whatever the hell they're doing right now is not working. And while the Tigers only had 7 hits today, they were able to come up with at least 1 hit with runners in scoring position and score a couple more runs than the Giants were able to today. The Tigers also struck out 13 times today, so they weren't exactly, lighting the world on fire offensively. But when you waste another Logan Webb start like this, like, you cannot continue to waste starts from your ace that you should be in games that you should be winning. Webb looked pretty good today, threw a bunch of sinkers early on. Was leaving him up in the zone a little bit still, though. That was a bit of a concern early on, but he kind of settled down as the game went on. Still, it was enough damage that he gave up in the beginning of the game that it was just insurmountable for the Giants to overcome that. The Tigers do a lot of damage early on in innings. They score the majority of their runs in the first 3 innings. And Logan Webb, as we know, is going to give up the majority of his runs in the first inning or 2. So it was kind of a recipe for disaster, but still, Logan Webb got through it. He threw 104 pitches today, 32 sinkers, 30 changeups, and 28 sweepers. So a pretty evenly mixed distribution. And that sinker wasn't getting hit as hard as it has in past days. Like I said, he kind of settled in a little bit. Average exit velo of just 90.6 miles an hour, but that changeup was getting whacked pretty hard. Average exit velo of 103.2. Riley Green smoked one, 114, 115 miles an hour. So, it was a mixed bag, but ultimately, Webby, 41% whiff rate, and he generated a lot of ground ball outs again. But it just wasn't enough for the Giants to figure it out. By the way, 4 ground outs, maybe not a lot of ground outs, but a nice ratio, 4 ground outs to only 1 fly out. It was a typical Logan Webb day, and the Giants should win on a typical Logan Webb day. Right now, the way this offense is performing, they're not going to get it done. And ultimately, that's what I think you're going to be talking about after this one.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And the Giants are just, the offense is so incredibly inept right now that it's impossible to continue to go down the road that you're going down without seeing a June swoon on deck. And that's what I really think you're going to be talking about, is the potential of a very bad month of June on deck for the Giants. If this pitching falls off at all, expect the Giants to start to lose a bunch of games, because right now they have, I think the second best ERA for all starting pitchers. Yeah, the starters have the second best ERA in all of baseball, a 2.89 ERA in the month of May. and they're still just 8-8. I mean, that you should win well over half of your games if your starting pitching staff is giving you a 2.89 ERA and your bullpen is giving you a 2.77 ERA, the second best in baseball as well. Overall, they have the best ERA of any pitching staff in all of the major leagues, and you should be a lot better than they are right now. I mean, they're shrinking now. I mean, they were up to like 9-10 games over 500. Now they're down to 7. It's still not bad. You entered the day 2 back of the Dodgers in the National League West, so it's not, the sky is not falling. But all the signs are there that it might start to fall pretty soon, and that is what has got me concerned about this baseball team. I mean, you have certain situations that you're just not going to get out of. Obviously, Willy Adames is first and foremost. That guy has got to start playing better. He's not going anywhere. It's the very beginning of his massive 7-year deal. So he's going to be an everyday player. The Giants have got to figure it out. Matt Chapman is another guy who's going to be a mainstay in this lineup no matter what going forward. So you have to have those two guys start to get their you-know-what together. But, I mean, the first base just gives you absolutely nothing right now. Casey Schmidt, 0 for 3. Lamont Wade Jr., uninspiring. David VR was DFA'd. Like, you have no real, like, I just need a more than someone who's a warm body over at first base. Just anyone who can do anything. Like, I would take a guy who could just hit and was just like the worst fielding first baseman in the world right now. Conversely, I'd take a guy who could actually field his position really well, but couldn't hit worth a lick. Like, that would be fine as well. Just anybody who contributes to winning in some fashion at first base would be great. I mean, and it leads me to kind of think maybe the Giants are going to go make a trade. Maybe they have to go bring someone in. Maybe this let's just kind of wait around for Bryce Eldridge and tread water until he gets here thing isn't the smartest plan. And I mean, you got some options out there. I saw Ben did a show earlier about Giants trade targets, mentioned Rhys Hoskins is one of those guys. And I would love to see Rhys Hoskins in a Giants uniform. He's been connected to this team many, many, many times throughout his career, grew up in Sacramento. So he's obviously relatively a hometown kind of guy. He grew up for the Giants, or grew up rooting for the Giants when he was younger. So, and he obviously has a big bat. I would love to see a guy like that in the middle of this Giants order. It would give you a huge lift over a guy like Casey Schmidt or Lamont Wade Jr. or whoever the hell else they're going to roll out there at first base. We're going to go back to experimenting with like Brett Wisely over there again like we did at times last year. God, I hope not. And we all know Gerard Encarnacion is waiting in the wings to come back from that 60-day IL stint. But he's not going to save this team. He's like a career, 4A player, basically. He's not going to come in and hit 300 plus and average, have a pace of like 40 bombs for the rest of the season. Like, that's just not going to happen. He's not that kind of player. He's going to give you a little bit of life offensively. He's good in, he hits a lot of line drives and the gaps, and those things are all great. But that's not enough to lift this team from where it is right now. The depths of despair that this offense is in are, I mean, it is all bad right now for the Giants at the dish. We got to take a quick break here, but on the other side, we got to get into Logan Webb's day a little bit more. I liked what I saw from Webby at times, especially as the game went on. Early on, he was a little shaky, though. Let's break it all down next on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's show is brought to you by Supply House. Get supplies you need from the site that's made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is jam-packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. And did we mention it's free? Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today Logan Webb he was good-ish. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't typical Logan Webb to some extent, but ultimately at the end of the day, his line looked very Logan Webb-esque. I mean, he did not have his best start of the season, but still 10 strikeouts for Webb through 6 innings, did scatter 7 hits, and they did generate 3 runs off of him. Only 1 walk. Generally, that should be enough to get you a win. Webby should be much better than 5-5 this season. Are you kidding me? With the 2.82 ERA, the Giants offense is just letting this guy down yet again, getting caned every single time he gets on that damn mound. And the Giants got to start scoring some runs to help out their guy. But one thing I was concerned about with Logan Webb, and we talked about it a little bit earlier on in the show, was his sinker getting hit around a little bit in the beginning of this one. In that game against the Royals, his last start, he was leaving that sinker up in the zone a lot, and it was getting tattooed all over the yard. And we know that was Logan Webb's worst outing of the season, his shortest outing of the season, gave up more hits in that game than he had at any other point. And I had a little bit of concern when half the batters, when 4 of the first 8 batters that he faced today reached base safely. I started to get a little worried about Logan Webb today, but he settled in, got his brain right, and fixed that location with that sinker for the rest of the game. And I was really glad that he did that, because the Tigers are really, really good at hitting sinkers. They have a .310 batting average against the sinkers, and they're 5th in all of baseball against the sinkers with the .866 OPS. So the Tigers hunting that pitch today, and it worked out very well early on for them. Webby did make an adjustment, started throwing more changeups, more off-speed stuff, more of that sweeper, and it worked out today for Logan Webb ultimately. Well, I mean, to an extent, because the Giants still weren't able to get the win. But Webby, it's not his fault that the Giants didn't get the win, and it usually is not on Logan Webb's shoulders. And just for that, because there's no one else to really give this to, mainly, we're going to give Logan Webb our player of the game for today.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And I mean, I don't really know who else we would give it to on this Giants team, because everybody was pretty damn bad today. Wilmer Flores had an RBI. Maybe Wilmer could have been a candidate. Willie Adames, the only guy with 2 hits for the Giants today. I wasn't really feeling that either. So I guess it has to go to Logan Webb just by default. There's no one else to really give it to. And this Giants team they look lackluster. They look very uninspiring and kind of boring to watch again. And that is the worst situation that you can be in. I mean, it's just not you don't ever want to be a boring baseball team. If you're bad and still entertaining, that's better than being like relatively mid and just boring as hell, which is what this Giants offense is starting to make this team feel like. And I would really like this team, and I'm sure everybody else on this on any other Giants fan, anybody on that Giants team would love to see some hits as well. You saw Mike Yastrzemski throwing his helmet down in disgust in this one. You saw a lot of guys getting really frustrated at the dish. Pat Bailey getting frustrated. Bob Melvin got so frustrated that Bo Mel started arguing with balls and strikes, and he got thrown out of this one. He was, I don't think that was a theatrical performance to try and, generate some fire in the guys. I don't think that's what that was. I think he was genuinely upset about the wide fluctuations that we had in the strike zone today. That was a whole other story that we don't really have time to get into, but man, that strike zone was very inconsistent today. But everybody on this team seems frustrated right now. There's not a single player who looks like they're really having a good time in a Giants uniform. You lose today, you lose the series, and now you have to fight to avoid the sweep tomorrow in a day game. Thankfully, you got Landon Roop on the bump, and Landon Roop in his last 2 outings, 6 innings, shutout ball in both of his last 2 outings. So hopefully Landon Roop comes out tomorrow and just shoves another great game. And that's what the Giants need, because I guarantee you this offense is not scoring more than 4 runs tomorrow either. They just look terrible right now, and I don't see a way that they're just going to snap out of this just instantly. Like this is going to take some time for these guys to work out of these slumps. And hopefully it starts today with a guy like Willie Adames picking up a couple hits in today's game. Like we can all hope, but that 624 OPS, not very inspiring. That 210 batting average, not very inspiring. There's not a single player in this Giants starting lineup batting over 300. There's only 2 guys batting over 280 right now. There's only one guy with an OPS over 800, and that's Elliot Ramos. And he's been pretty much the only guy that you can rely on for consistent offense in recent weeks. So the Giants, they got to figure it out. You have to come up with a plan. Pat Burrell, Bob Melvin, the Brain Trust need to come together and figure out how the hell to get these guys going in the right direction again. Because right now, they're going very much so in the wrong direction. An offensive free fall over these last 2 weeks or so. It's just been really, really, really painful to watch this team try and do anything at the plate. It's all the time that we got for you guys today on the Locked On Giants postcast. A very, very not fun game. The Giants lose today 3-1 to the Detroit Tigers out there at Comerica Park. Giants, though, they're still 31-24 on the season. So the sky isn't falling just yet, but all the signs are there for a big-time June swoon for the Giants. Let's hope that the dog days of summer don't come up and bite the Giants, and we hopefully can avoid a free fall in the month of June. But if this pitching staff falls off at all, I have a feeling that's what we're going to see. It's all the time that we got for you guys today. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.